Today I'm cooking my version of Börek, a savoury pastry dish, and it's traditionally from the Middle East and Balkan regions. Right, let's get cooking. First thing we're going to do is pop our walnuts into the preheated oven. They're going to toast away while we get everything else prepared, and we're going to start off with our red onion. And all we want to do is just cook this gently for a good 5 or 6 minutes to soften up, and it'll get lots and lots of sweetness into the dish as well. So while those are sweating down, it gives us a chance to prep our mushrooms as well. So we want these again in nice little pieces. So we want texture, but we don't want too big chunks in there. And then we're going to also add in 2 cloves of garlic, which I'm just going to grate straight into the pan. I'm going to add a little bit of thyme in now to give it some real freshness. So this dish is fibre packed, and fibre is something we often neglect and struggle to get enough in our daily diets. But it's a brilliant way of managing our health. It helps us manage our cholesterol and our blood sugar. It helps us feel full, but it also keeps us regular, and the health benefits are wide-spanning throughout life. So while those mushrooms cook down, it's a great time to check our walnuts. Perfect, they're beautifully toasted, and we're gonna let those cool down now on the side whilst we finish the rest of the filling off. Those mushrooms are looking great now. Nearly all that moisture's cooked off, so I'm just gonna add in the balsamic vinegar now, again to give it some real sweetness. So for legumes and pulses, we can use tin versions as well, but these packs are fantastic. They're brilliant to add into things like bolognese to just bump up that fibre content and plant-based foods. But in this dish, they save heaps of time. Brilliant, so that's all combined now, so I can take it off the heat and get on with adding our parsley and get the seasoning right. Take a big handful of parsley and we're just going to give it a really good fine chop. And we can add a bit of seasoning in here now, so a good pinch of salt and some black pepper. Last thing we're going to do is just add our toasted walnuts. A dish like this is a great source of fibre, and we've got plenty of different sources of soluble and insoluble fibres in there. So we've got our lentils, our mushrooms, but also the walnuts are fantastic for including those different sources. So our mixture is nice and cool, and now we're ready to roll. So to start with, I'm going to use 3 sheets of phyllo. So I'm going to take out the first one and give it a good spray of oil. And we're going to repeat this a couple of times. This is going to build up some layers, and it's going to give it a lovely crispy finish. So for this first bit of the coil for the Börek, we're just going to use 3 sheets, and we used the remaining 4 for the last 2 sections. All we're going to do is gently pick the corners up and roll it over. The next part is forming that coil shape. So the best tip I can give you is to gently push towards your other hand as you're starting to move it around, and that'll stop the pastry getting too tight and just breaking. Now that's in place, we can crack on with the next 2 rolls. And for these ones, we're just going to use 2 sheets of the phyllo to build that layer up. For the Börek's in the oven, I'm going to prepare now a really quick, easy dressing that goes perfectly with it. We're going to start off by adding some yogurt, then we've got our fresh herbs. So parsley is a really good base for this, but mint gives it loads of freshness as well. A couple of handfuls of basil leaves. We're going to add in the juice of half a lemon to give it some lovely freshness and some zing. And then we've got 2 cloves of garlic, and then 2 tablespoons of tahini, which is sesame seed paste. Pop the lid on and give it a good blend. Brilliant green colour, which goes perfectly with the crispy pastry. Ah, look at that. We've got that golden pastry all folded together to form those beautiful layers that are going to crunch away, and that really lovely, deep tasting filling. I'm ready to dig in.